If you're tired of being woken up by your bladder more than twice a night, frustrated with the interruption to your sleep, and looking for a real solution, you've come to the right place. In this video, I'm going to give you a practical step-by-step guide that you can start applying today to finally get uninterrupted, high-quality nights of sleep. This isn't just another video with generic tips. I'm going to walk you through a simple method to understand the true cause of your nighttime urination, whether it's overproduction of urine, restless sleep, or a bladder with reduced capacity. You'll learn how to identify your specific scenario and how to take this valuable information to your doctor for an accurate diagnosis. Ready to stop guessing and start solving? Want to reclaim your sleep, your energy, and your quality of life? Stick with me for the next 13 minutes, and I'll give you the tools to free yourself from this problem and get back to sleeping deeply. Hi, I'm Dr. Jane, a urologist. To start understanding why you might be waking up multiple times at night to urinate, we first need to grasp the basic functioning of our bladder. Think of it as a reservoir or an elastic balloon. Our kidneys work non-stop, 24 hours a day, filtering blood and producing urine. That urine, once formed, flows continuously through the ureters, small tubes, and is stored directly in the bladder. As the bladder begins to fill, it sends signals to our brain, acting like an alarm system. It's important to note that this alarm doesn't go off all at once but gradually, proportional to the amount of urine accumulating. Let me illustrate. At first, when the bladder holds about 100 to 150 milliliters of urine, it acts like it's gently whispering to your brain, "Hey, I'm starting to fill up." This is a very subtle, weak signal. Depending on what you're doing, if you're deeply focused on a task, for example, you probably won't even notice this initial warning. As the bladder continues to fill, reaching larger volumes, the alarm intensifies. This is when you start to feel the first urge to urinate that becomes clearly conscious. You notice the need to go to the bathroom, but there's no urgency. If you delay going to the bathroom and the bladder keeps expanding, the alarm shifts from a normal warning to a real shout to your brain, "Go pee now." That's that intense urgency where you feel like if you don't find a bathroom quickly, you might not be able to hold it. So the bladder's alarm system is gradual, responding to the volume of urine it contains. This is crucial for understanding how our body manages the need to urinate and why we can sometimes ignore the early signals. Beyond the bladder's gradual functioning, our brain has complex information filtering systems. It decides what's relevant enough to reach our consciousness and what can be ignored. For example, you probably weren't feeling your shoe on your foot until I mentioned it just now. Think about it. Our brain is constantly bombarded every minute with a huge amount of sensory information. The hum of the air conditioner, the texture of your clothes, the ambient light. Most of this is filtered out and doesn't reach consciousness simply because it's not considered a priority at that moment. However, if something demands immediate attention, like a loud, unexpected noise beside you, your brain shifts focus to it, and the information breaks through to your consciousness. The same principle applies to our bladder. A discreet warning, that initial whisper from the bladder as it starts to fill, often can't get past the brain's filtering system, especially if we're engaged in another activity. Why am I saying this? Think about a time when you were completely focused, watching an engaging movie, immersed in a challenging work project, or totally locked in during intense physical activity. You were so absorbed that you only noticed the need to urinate when the sensation became almost unbearable, nearly to the point of not being able to hold it. That's a pretty common experience, right? Comment below and tell us the last time that happened to you. It's a perfect example of how our concentration and the brain's filtering system can make us ignore the bladder's early signals. And why am I bringing this up now? What does the brain's ability to filter information have to do with waking up at night to urinate? It has everything to do with it. Because there are three main causes that lead us to interrupt sleep to go to the bathroom. The first is excessive urine production during the night. If your kidneys are producing a much larger than normal amount of urine while you sleep, your bladder will fill up faster. As a result, it won't be able to store the urine long enough for you to get through those 6, 7, or 8 hours of continuous sleep without feeling the need to go. The volume produced exceeds the storage capacity during rest. The second main reason relates to the sensory system and how the brain processes bladder signals. Imagine that the bladder's whisper, which would normally be ignored during deep sleep, ends up reaching your consciousness. This is especially common in people who sleep poorly or have fragmented sleep. When you wake up for any reason, a noise, a position change, a sleep disturbance, you reactivate your entire sensory system, which was in a resting state. At that moment, the bladder's signals, even if they were weak before, become noticeable. The sensation is so immediate that you think the urge to urinate woke you up, when in reality, you were already in a lighter sleep state or had woken up for another reason and then noticed your full bladder. The third reason is when the bladder's alarm or storage capacity is reduced. In this scenario, the bladder can't store an adequate volume of urine without the full signals becoming extremely intense and frequent. It's like the alarm is overly sensitive or the bladder is smaller than ideal. This way, the bladder reaches its limit quickly and sends such a strong signal that it really wakes you up to go to the bathroom because its ability to hold urine is compromised or the urgency signal is excessive for smaller volumes. And now, with the step-by-step guide we're about to learn, which I'll explain in detail, you'll have the tools to identify which of these causes might be affecting you. You'll understand how to collect important information and, most importantly, how to take this precise data to your doctor. This is crucial because many people think waking up multiple times at night to urinate is normal with age, or that it's always a prostate or bladder issue. And that's not necessarily true. The causes can be much more varied, and understanding your specific situation is the first step to a solution. You're going to do what we urologists call a voiding diary. This is a simple but extremely powerful record of your urination habits over a 24-hour period. To do it correctly, you'll note every time you go to the bathroom and measure the volume of urine in each void. It's a 24-hour record, and it's very important that it starts in the morning and ends the next morning to cover a full cycle. For example, if you decide to start your diary tomorrow, you'll need some measuring cups, those with milliliter markings, common in kitchens. Here's the crucial detail for collection. The first urine of tomorrow morning, right upon waking, you do not collect. Why? Because that urine was produced during the previous night today, and not on the day you're starting the record. Got it? So, discard that first urine. You'll start collecting and measuring from the second urine tomorrow, and continue collecting all voids until the first urine the following day, the day after tomorrow. That first urine on the day after tomorrow is actually the urine produced during tomorrow night, completing the 24-hour cycle of production and elimination for tomorrow. It might seem a bit confusing at first, I know, but if you pause the video now, reread calmly, and visualize the process, you'll understand perfectly what I'm explaining. Another extremely important thing, don't change your habits. If your goal is to get an accurate diagnosis of what's happening and clear guidance on why you're waking up multiple times at night to urinate, changing your habits during the voiding diary can mask the real problem. So, keep drinking what you normally drink, eating what you usually eat, and doing your daily activities. This will ensure the data collected reflects your true routine and consequently that the calculations are accurate. Ideally, do this diary for 3 consecutive days to get a more robust and representative sample. I know the logistics can sometimes be a bit complex, but if you can, it'll be even better. If not possible, starting with 24 hours will already give us valuable information. Deal? Great, Dr. Jane. I wrote everything down, got my little paper. Every time I peed, I checked the amount and recorded it. What's the second step? The second step is to add up the total amount of urine you recorded over the 24 hours. So take all your notes, 200 milliliters plus 350 milliliters plus 450 milliliters and so on. Use a calculator and sum it all. This value will be your total 24-hour urine volume. Write it down clearly. I'll use an example here to make it easier to understand. Let's suppose your total 24-hour volume came to 2,000 milliliters or 2 liters. Now, you'll focus on and note the amount of urine you produced exclusively at night. The nighttime period for this diary is considered from the moment you went to bed until the moment you woke up to stay awake the next day. It's crucial that in your voiding diary, you recorded the exact time you went to sleep and the time you woke up. Then, you'll identify the voids that occurred in that interval. For example, imagine you went to bed at 10 p.m. and woke up for the first time at midnight. Then, you woke up again at 3 a.m. and finally woke up for the day at 7 a.m. You would add up the volumes of those 3 nighttime voids, midnight, 3 a.m., and 7 a.m., if it's the first of the day after the sleep period. This total will be your nighttime urine volume. Let's suppose in our example it came to 1,000 milliliters, 1 liter. With these two values in hand, you'll do a division. Nighttime urine volume divided by 24-hour urine volume. In our example, that would be 1,000 milliliters divided by 2,000 milliliters. This calculation, in this case, results in 0.5. It's essential to know that under normal conditions, this ratio should not exceed 0.3. This is because naturally, during the night, our body tends to produce less urine than during the day. So, if the result of your division is greater than 0.3, meaning you're urinating more than 30% of your total urine volume at night, you may be suffering from what we call nocturnal polyuria. This means the main problem is excessive urine production at night, not the bladder itself. So, recapping. Did you divide the nighttime urine volume by the 24-hour urine volume and the result was greater than 0.3? This indicates increased urine production at night, and we'll talk about the causes of that soon. Stay tuned. But what if the result is less than 0.3? Then we'll move on to other calculations. You already have the 24-hour urine volume and the nighttime urine volume. Consequently, you can easily calculate your daytime urine volume, the total urine produced while you're awake. Now, you'll take these two volumes, nighttime and daytime, and divide them by the number of voids in each respective period. In our nighttime example, we had 1 liter, 1,000 milliliters of urine in 3 voids. That gives us an average of about 333 milliliters per void at night. The remaining 1 liter, the other 1,000 milliliters from the total 2,000 milliliters. Let's suppose during the day you urinated 5 times to empty that 1 liter. That would give an average of 200 milliliters per daytime void. So, we have an average volume per nighttime void, 333 milliliters, and an average volume per daytime void, 200 milliliters. You'll compare these two average volumes. It's important to remember that our bladder's capacity doesn't change drastically between day and night. It's essentially the same. So, these average volumes per void should be close. If they're significantly different, and I mean different if the variation is more than 150 milliliters, especially if the nighttime volume is smaller, then in your case, the problem is likely in the signal being sent and perceived. If the average urine volume per void at night is considerably smaller than the daytime average, even if total nighttime production isn't excessive, it's very likely that you're waking up for other reasons and only then feeling the need to urinate. This is the second reason I mentioned earlier. The quality of your sleep is a factor in directly increasing the frequency of your nighttime bathroom trips. You're not woken by the bladder, but notice the full bladder because you already woke up. And Dr. Jane, what if my average volumes daytime and nighttime are the same? In that case, you'll look at the average capacity of both. If they're the same but that volume is consistently below 250 milliliters or even below 200 milliliters per void, this suggests a sensory issue with the bladder or, in some cases, a prostate-related problem. In these scenarios, your bladder isn't able to store the volume of urine it should before triggering an intense alarm. It's only in this last option that the more common prostate problems or overactive bladder usually fit. Oh, Dr. Jane, are there no other signs or factors we can analyze? Of course there are. This diary is an amazing starting point, but let's dive a bit deeper into the causes and associated signs for each category. In the first case, increased urine production, nocturnal polyuria. Generally, the main causes we see are conditions like sleep apnea. A common sign is loud snoring and breathing pauses during sleep, uncontrolled high blood pressure, poorly managed diabetes, taking diuretics at inappropriate times, or if they need to be taken at night, this should be discussed with the doctor, or what we call edematous states, like swelling in the legs. If you have any of these factors and they're uncontrolled, it'll cause you to produce more urine at night. Drinking a lot of water right before bed can also contribute. So, analyze all these factors and think, my legs swell a lot. What can you do? Try lying down about 2 hours before bed and elevating your legs. Wearing compression stockings during the day can also help reduce swelling and the fluid redistribution that happens when you lie down to sleep. Oh, I'm taking a diuretic at night because the doctor prescribed it. Talk to him about the possibility of taking it at another time. Never stop a medication on your own. Okay, my blood pressure is uncontrolled. Geez, when was the last time you checked your blood pressure? Measure your blood pressure regularly. Done? Oh, I'm snoring a lot. See a sleep specialist. You may need a polysomnography to evaluate your sleep quality. In the second case, where the calculation gave less than 0.3, no nocturnal polyuria, but the average nighttime void volume was small, for example 150 milliliters, and during the day you urinate larger volumes, for example 400 milliliters. This suggests you're not producing a lot of urine at night, but your frequency is high for other reasons. In this scenario, you need to analyze your sleep quality. Here, again, polysomnography may be indicated for an accurate diagnosis. Additionally, sleep hygiene is essential. This includes waking up and going to bed at the same time every day, even on weekends. Avoiding exposure to screens, phones, tablets, computers, and intense white light at night at least 1 to 2 hours before bed. Blue light can suppress melatonin production, the sleep hormone. Avoiding activities that cause anxiety or require a lot of attention at night, like intense work or stressful arguments. Avoiding very intense physical activity close to bedtime. Avoiding coffee and other caffeine-containing substances after 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. All of this can disrupt your sleep quality and make you wake up more easily, taking the opportunity to go to the bathroom. And finally, the third case, bladder or prostate problems. Dr. Jane, I urinate a lot, both at night and during the day, in very small amounts, 200, 250 milliliters or even less, in every void. My urinary frequency is high, both at night and during the day. Plus, in men, I might feel prostate-related issues like a weaker urine stream, a stream that should be continuous but stops in the middle, or the feeling that I can't fully empty my bladder. All of this fits the possibility of what we call overactive bladder or a prostate problem. And it's important to note that often these two issues can be related. Put this voiding diary into practice. It provides a huge amount of valuable information for us doctors. Do it calmly, without rushing, so you can get accurate guidance and take this data to your urologist. This is a very important calculation. Unfortunately, it's done less often than it should be. Most urologists might not request this voiding diary because we know it's time-consuming. It requires dedication to basically spend a whole day measuring everything, but it provides very interesting answers and promotes extremely important awareness of your urination pattern. Got it? I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helps you finally clarify why you're waking up at night to urinate. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Okay? That's very important, so I can keep producing this kind of content and helping you improve your urinary quality of life.